Our second session tonight is going to begin with a humble admission from all of us. This morning we talked about the story driving your life, the story underneath it all, and how we're going to try to dig it up this week and analyze it. We first wanted you to become accustomed to recognizing you have a story that you've inherited, you've received from your surroundings, and that story is shaping your drive, your ambitions, your goals. We talked about happiness. Everyone wants to be happy, but there's confusion about what is happiness, yet we want it so badly. If you ask parents what do they want for their children, often, not always, but often they'll say, we just want them to be happy. If only life were so simple. The problem is that we actually don't know how to be happy. In other words, the problem is not simply that we are murky and vague about happiness. We actually don't know how. We don't know the method. This admission, this humble admission, is the first step in genuine human progress. Now I know it's kind of embarrassing because everyone likes to present themselves. Happiness, yeah, I know what happiness is. You know, I know, we know when we're happy. But when we accept that we actually don't know what is happiness, that's when our human progress begins. Happiness has become, as we discussed this morning, so highly sought after. Why is it that when society is supposed to be so advanced, happiness has become such a mystery? We're going to discuss this tonight, and we're going to watch a video about happiness, and you're going to see different versions of happiness gathered from around the world, from different cultures. The Bhakti Yogi will say that all the versions are actually the same. They're all about material contentment. But I don't want to ruin the video for you. You can watch it and form your own opinions. Yeah, they're happy. Yeah, they're doing it. Yeah, they've got it. But let's see. Let's watch it with an analytical mindset, keeping in mind that Krishna in Bhagavad Gita points out that there are three types of happiness that are all material. Happiness in goodness, happiness in passion, and happiness in ignorance. Happiness in goodness, virtue, virtuous goodness, involves mastery of the self, control of the senses, and it can be the stepping stone to the spiritual platform. But then there's happiness in passion. That's the main thing going on today. That's the main thing on offer today. Happiness in passion. Work hard, party hard, expend energy struggling to achieve goals, and then expend energy trying to satisfy your senses. And then Krishna explains, this is all in chapter 18, Krishna explains about happiness in ignorance. That's an easy one to brush off, especially for you all. Happiness in ignorance means someone who's lost in drink and drugs and sleeps half the day. So I'm sure none of you here have to worry about that. But happiness and passion is the main meal. Intense material ambition, the intense drive to succeed. And then you want to reward yourself with intense sense gratification, mind-numbing entertainment. And of course, as you may notice in society today, it's not just passion. There has to be a sprinkling of ignorance to help you forget. That's why intoxication plays such an important role in material society today. Can you imagine what London would be like without any form of intoxication available whatsoever? No alcohol, no marijuana, no drugs of any type, not even caffeine. People wouldn't be able to function. Whenever there's an increase in passion, there always has to be some ignorance to help you forget the pains of the passionate struggle. So let's keep in mind the whole picture when we watch this presentation of happiness. You're going to hear some surprising things. You're going to hear how a coolie in Calcutta, the guys who carry loads on their back, they're having the same contentment as the average American. I know it's different in the UK. You're more happy. So let's watch and see. It'll take about a half hour, a little more than a half hour. And we want to take it as food for thought. And I think for some of you it's going to look quite convincing. Yeah, that's life. Yeah, that's... But just remember, the bottom line. Are we the body or are we not? Are we material or are we something beyond material? You always have to see through that lens. Otherwise, we're blinded by matter. And the whole point of enlightened lifestyle is to be free from the shackles of matter. When we talk about who's a materialist, what usually comes to your mind? A materialist. What do you think of when someone is said to be a materialist, or you're calling someone a materialist? What comes to your mind?
Someone who works in the city.
Someone who what?
Like works in the city of London, someone like a banker.
The bankers, yeah, they're the materialists, right? The top executives, right? Yeah, they're the materialists. Anyone else? Who's a materialist? Yeah? Someone who's just after money. Those people who are just after money. Those other people who are just after money. Yes.
Someone who thinks external objects equal the same amount as themselves, so they look for an identity, or they relate to themselves as those material things. So you see people, oh, I got a new pair of, I don't know, a new Gucci bag or a new pair of amazing trainers. That they think that that's their identity and that's who they are.
Okay. People who identify with their consumer acquisitions. Ladies, you never thought about who's a materialist?
I guess we are all materialists. Because, for Christmas, for example, we're going to ask our parents something material. We're not going to ask a lesson about life. We're going to ask, something.
You're getting close to the fact that everyone is a materialist, whether they celebrate Christmas or not. Anyone else? Yes, in the back.
Anyone who has faith that any of these external things that have already been mentioned can give them happiness.
You're getting close. Let's give the ladies one last try. See if they hit the target. Or is a materialist anyone who dresses better than you, who has better jewelry than you? They're the materialists, right? Someone who has a bigger house than you, they're the materialist, right? Yeah?
Someone who has attachment. Someone who's attached.
So it's okay to have heaps of jewelry and
No.
but just don't be attached, right?
No, but they probably would be. That's why they have heaps of jewelry.
Oh, but whereas others don't have enough, right? You can use a bit more, right? Yeah.
Those that look for the happiness from outside instead of looking for happiness within. So things that objects from the outside that makes them happy and that makes them content. That's what so they're always looking outwards instead of focusing.
Okay, so you could be a rich banker, but you just are not focusing on all your finances. Is that it?
No, it's more like you're just like you got a lovely Ferrari. You're cleaning the Ferrari, but you're not feeding yourself. So everything is an external facing type of imagery of yourself, but you're not thinking within how I actually truly what makes me happy. Everything outside's already taking that over.
All right, but suppose I have the Ferrari and I kind of mentally detach myself. I have it, but it's not connected to me.
Amazing.
You go for it, huh?
Then they wouldn't have a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Anyone that associates themselves or identifies themselves as the body?
Exactly. That's Krishna's definition, which cuts across all classes, no matter what type of car you have, Ferrari or not, no matter how much jewelry, how many saris the lady has, no matter how big the house is that your family has. If you think you are the body, whether you're rich or poor, you are a materialist. It's chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. It means you're a materialist and you're after material happiness, which is rejected by those who are intelligent. So let's watch. Let's see about the struggle for happiness around the world. And I'm warning you, someone's going to look convincing to you, like, yeah, this is kind of nice. Yeah, I could appreciate that. You'll see primitive tribes. You'll see people in Denmark. You'll see all different types of approaches to material happiness. And you'll hear academics certifying, yes, this is good, this is good. Let's see what you think from Denmark. Did their faces look happy to you? That lady looked happy to you? Okay. So is that what we need to do? That's all we need to do? Are you ready to live in such a... No, why not?
I think it would help, but it's not the be all and end all of happiness.
But if it would help, why aren't you ready to do that?
You do it already.
You live in a joint family?
Stay in touch with
Okay.
We're doing it right now, man.
Huh?
We're doing it right now.
So, was it inspiring to see these different persons in their situations being happy? Yes? You say yes? Was it inspiring? What did it inspire you to do? Live in the bush? What particularly inspired you? The way other people yes, they live. So what did you take away from it all? So how are you going to apply that in London? Not working so hard, being around those you love and who love you.
I'm really trying. I'm really doing that. Like I'm spending more time with family, cousins, friends. Not spending as much time now, focusing on. I still study and focus on my degree and stuff, but I take time a lot more time out to be around my grandparents and cousins and relatives and.
Okay, so yes.
Some validity that it's people over possessions. So people tend to be happier with their association with other people than they are with their association with possessions.
Okay. comment? Yeah?
It's basically care and love attachments which are really more important rather than this money, etc. Like there should be some other person who should be relying on you, and you have to be helpful to some other person.
So you all found this very significant? Yes? Very significant. But how many of you have read Bhagavad Gita? Raise your hand. Very few. Well, I have news for you. That in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna brushes all this aside. What you're identifying with and seeing as beneficial, that was Arjuna's argument in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, why should we fight this war? It'll disturb the family network. It'll cause social reactions. Why can't we just all live together peacefully, even if it means my walking away from the battlefield? If the Kauravas, the other side, is so greedy, they want to be sinful, let them be it. That's okay. Even though I'm a warrior and I'm duty bound to protect the innocent, let them have it all. I'll just walk off the battlefield. And as you know, Krishna didn't accept that. Krishna is using the scene in Bhagavad Gita to demonstrate that family togetherness, friends together, is nice, but it's not enough. It's on the material platform. How long can you be together with your family and friends? So it's not that Krishna is against family and friends, but Krishna is telling Arjuna the human life is meant for going to a higher level, because the family and friends are related to your body. How long is your body going to last? Do you know how long your body is going to last? All you know is it's not going to last. So all the family and friendship affairs are based on the body, which you're not, and they're not. The example given in Srimad Bhagavatam, the graduate study to Bhagavad Gita, is that persons gather at a hotel for a night, and they may have some friendly relations, they may talk, but in the morning, when checkout time comes, everyone disperses. So that's what friendship and family life is like in this temporary world, in temporary bodies. It's not going to last. So why base your whole life on something so insubstantial? So a bhakti yogi sees the temporariness of it all and doesn't base his or her whole life on such temporary networks of family and friends. So it's not that Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is anti-family or anti-friend, but Krishna is clarifying to Arjuna what is eternal and what is temporary. What is eternal has much more value. So here we're getting at the heart of the problem presented in that video. It's not questioning the duration and quality of material happiness. Even the academics, do they look happy to you, the academics? Some of them look pretty miserable to me. They're not able to see the fault in material existence. They can see various permutations and shades. It'd be better for your material life if you lived like this or if you lived like that. But they can't see the problem with the whole package. As Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. Intelligence means to see the fault in material existence. The fault is in terms of duration and quality. Where else are we going to get this education? So yes, family and friends are nice, but it's like persons gathering at a hotel. You all checked into hotels before, right? You're in the lobby, there could be a line at the check-in counter. You may strike up a conversation with someone. But in the morning, everyone's going to disperse. So how can you base your whole life on that? Now, the Bhakti yogis know that if Krishna is in the center of the family, if Krishna is in the center of the friendship, then that's something different. But just to be together for the sake of being together, even primitive persons in the bush can do that. Even animals can do that. Human life is meant for something more. So I told you that there are going to be some challenging things about this video. I know a lot of it looked nice. Yeah, they're together, But Bhagavad Gita will teach you to question, you are together for what purpose? So many animals do things together. They travel in packs. But the human being is meant to strive for something higher, because material happiness has some basic faults. So we want to give you the skills this week to dissect material happiness. So I already gave you some major hints. What are the problems with material happiness? Who remembers? No one remembers.
It's temporary.
That's one. I know it's difficult to remember because it's kind of sensitive, yeah? You know, material happiness is not what I should be trying for. So I brought out two problems: duration and quality. The duration of material happiness is so flickering. As even one of the academics said, material happiness never sticks around for as long as you hope for or expect. And then there's the quality problem. It's insubstantial. It's shadowy stuff. But if that's all you know, you're going to be very sensitive about it. You'll be very sensitive to criticism of material happiness if that's all you know. Example I was just giving in Cardiff a few days ago. Let's say, does anyone here have a real old car they drive? Let's say you had a 1985 Ford. That was your only car. And black smoke was coming out the tailpipe. It was making lots of noise. It was rattling. And if someone would criticize that car, though, you would be very sensitive because it's all you have. It may get you to your job. It may get you to school. So naturally, you don't like it if someone would get on your case. Why are you driving such a junky car? But just think, instead of someone criticizing your junky car, they drive up to your house or to your flat with a brand new Mercedes or BMW. And they say, we'll put the keys to the car in your hand. It's your car. All you have to do is get rid of your junky car. What would you say? Especially when they say to you, first take the Mercedes for a test drive. See how you like it. When you come back from your test drive, make the decision. Do you want to keep your jalopy, your 1985 Ford, or do you want to keep the brand new Mercedes? What would you say? Huh? Why? Huh?
If I can afford the insurance.
You'd figure out a way. You had a qualitatively better experience, so you let go, naturally, of the inferior experience. So this is what Krishna points out in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, that even you may try to control yourself and restrain yourself from lower things, from lower activities, from inferior, low-grade pleasure. Krishna says you may try to do that, but you'll fail. Simply acting out of repression, you'll fail. But if you experience superior pleasure, naturally you'll let go of the inferior pleasure. So this is Krishna's program in Bhagavad Gita. It's not just denying you this, denying you that. You can't be happy with family. You can't be happy with friends. You can have nothing material. No, it's about tasting the superior experience. And then naturally you let go of the inferior experience. But if all you know is the inferior, naturally you're going to cling tightly to that. That's why knowledge is required. Enlightenment is required. Show light on what is superior. So we hope that this week is going to be such an experience for you, that you realize there's better things to be had. But if all you know is material happiness, you're going to stay stuck on the level that you saw in the video. Remember, maybe you couldn't understand so much what they were saying. The big family in the Louisiana in the USA, the big family eating crabs and drinking beer. Crabs or lobsters or whatever. Weren't they happy? They just go out into the water and get some crabs. Are they crabs or lobsters?
Fish.
Oh, fish. No.
Crabs.
Crabs. And they're having a good time. Oh, we get together like this every week. So in bhakti, we don't say there's something wrong with getting together. We're getting together now. But what is in the center? That is what you should be looking for. Just like in relationships. Generally speaking, man wants to be with woman, woman wants to be with man. But what is at the center of the relationship? So in bhakti, we advocate partners in enlightenment. Not partnership for increasing the bodily conception of life. We're already in illusion enough. We don't need family, romantic, and friend relationships to put us deeper into illusion in the name of love. So this awareness comes through higher knowledge. Otherwise, yes, just living communally looks like that's the best that human beings can do. Without knowing anything higher. But we want to go higher because there's a basic problem with material happiness. Twofold problem. Duration. It comes and goes so quickly. Haven't you noticed that? And the quality is so flickering and insubstantial. The quality is so shadowy. So Krishna's program is to give you the higher experience. And then you can sort out your relationship affairs in the appropriate way. Otherwise, what is the difference between human civilization and animal civilization? What's the difference? Animals also do things together. Animal mothers care for their young. But the bhakti knowledge is focusing on what's in the center, what's the purpose of it all. The purpose should be higher than just bodily, physical maintenance. That the animals are already doing. But the human being is meant for a higher purpose. Higher purpose means something higher is in the center. Now you may say that even though material happiness is temporary, that's okay. It's good enough for me. But you can't stay. The happiness won't stay, nor will you stay. Your body will change, the happiness will change. But if we don't know anything better, we say, oh well, that's okay, it's the best you can do in this world. But it's not the best you can do in this world. So this is the game changer. The knowledge that there's something better to be had. Just like if you're driving in a 1985 Ford and someone says, test drive this brand new Mercedes. It'll be a game-changing experience for you. something better. Therefore, once we find out there's something better than material happiness, then our life really becomes progressive. Any questions? Yes.
So, with regards to the Ford and the Mercedes, what if their ego fools them into thinking the Ford is better than the Mercedes?
Then obviously they're in delusion. If they think a brand new Mercedes is worse than a 1985 Ford. And delusion is possible. Krishna describes mode of ignorance, tamoguna in Sanskrit. That means you can't even tell up from down. You're totally bewildered by drugs, by alcohol, by sleep. You can't even choose material happiness properly. It can happen.
So how would you
Someone is so attached to dirt and filth and run down things. Oh, I prefer my 1985 piece of junk. This car is too new. It's too clean. Depraved and bewildered. They'll really see, obviously, the difference between a 1985 wrecked car and a brand new Mercedes. Similarly, Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita to those who want to come out of illusion, those who want to see the difference. There are always going to be some who don't care. We talked about that this morning. What you don't know won't hurt you. Just work hard, party hard. Don't think about anything. No one knows anyway. Just how do your senses feel right now? You all know persons like that? Who knows the mysteries of life? Don't even worry about it. Are you feeling good now? But that's animal life. So the human being may be decorated with heaps of jewelry and fine fashions, but unless the human being understands what is the ultimate goal of life, there's no difference between the human being and the animal. Animals have social networks. Can you find a human society that's as perfectly organized as insect societies? You know anything about insect societies? They're extraordinary in their social organization. Ants, bees, wasps, they have division of labor, they have coordination. But what's the purpose of it all? So yes, we want families, we want friends, we want social relationships, but they should all be based on reality, the ultimate goal of life. Other questions? Yes.
Is Bhakti Yoga the only way to achieve enlightenment?
What would I say to, what would convince you?
I'm just looking for your response.
But my response will be according to what it would take to convince you.
Just your thoughts on if it's
The only way to what?
To enlightenment or happiness.
But then you have to say what is enlightenment. First say what is enlightenment, then we can discuss what's the only way.
Well, we're redefining happiness. So the happiness that we were speaking about this morning and sort of throughout this evening session, I'm wondering if Bhakti Yoga is the only way to reach that.
Okay, but we haven't completely zeroed in on what is ultimate happiness. We're just still on, we haven't taken, the plane hasn't taken off yet. We're taxiing on the runway. But I'm glad you're wanting to cut to the chase. So what would you say is the real definition of happiness?
I don't know.
Very good. So as I explained to you this morning, Bhakti Yoga puts you in direct connection with the ultimate source of knowledge and pleasure. Bhagavad Gita presents Krishna as the ultimate source of all energies. That includes knowledge and pleasure. If you want to connect with that ultimate source, you have to take the method given by that ultimate source. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, only by bhakti, pure love and devotion, can I be understood. Just like if you want to establish a relationship with someone, this is an ordinary example. You try to relate to that person according to how they want. Similarly, if you want to relate to Krishna, you hear from Krishna how Krishna wants, and you adapt to that. We are parts. Krishna is the complete whole. When the parts harmonize perfectly with the complete whole, that is enlightenment. Just like when the hand works perfectly for the benefit of the whole body. So first we have to understand we're just tiny parts of the Supreme. That's the first step in enlightenment. Acting in relationship with Krishna for the purpose of giving Krishna satisfaction, that is enlightenment. But enlightenment can begin with just understanding you're different from the body and mind. That's kindergarten. But most people haven't gone to kindergarten yet. Understanding you're different from matter. Then the next step is understanding that, yes, you're spirit soul, you're part of the Supreme Soul. Still, you're not there completely in full enlightenment. The last step is to understand that you're in relationship with the Supreme Soul. So those are the various phases of enlightenment.
And can you achieve those phases without Bhakti Yoga, or is Bhakti Yoga instrumental in achieving those?
What do you understand as Bhakti Yoga?
Bhagavad Gita, spiritual practice.
You've read Bhagavad Gita?
Not all of it.
Oh, you're reading.
Yeah.
Excellent. You'll find out the full picture by reading Bhagavad Gita. And there Krishna says, only by bhakti can he be understood. Only by pure love and devotion. You can't conquer Krishna with mystic powers. You can't conquer Krishna with good karma. It's only by pure unconditional love of the part in relation to the complete whole. So your questions are actually about what is the ultimate goal of human life. Very nice. But unless you understand the whole picture, if I just say, yes, it's the only way, it'll sound dogmatic and fanatical. Like if I say, if someone who doesn't know anything about cars hears that a Bentley is a better car than a Ford, the person might get upset. What do you mean? Are you paid off by Bentley or something to say that? But those who understand cars know that a Bentley is better than an ordinary Ford. Similarly, if you understand the whole picture of enlightenment, you'll understand that bhakti is the ultimate rung on the yoga ladder. So that's why I hesitated to answer your question, because unless you have some background, you could just think the person's speaking dogmatically. Oh, all spiritual texts say their way is the best. But we have to know where we want to go, and then we can analyze what's the best route to get where we want to go. Just like if I say, driving out the road here is the only way to get to Cardiff. Well, first of all, you have to know you want to get to Cardiff. And then you have to see what are the appropriate ways to get to Cardiff. It just so happens that driving down this road here is the way to get to the main road. But I discovered there's a back road also behind the building. But still, you need knowledge of where you're going, whether you take the front road or the utility road in the back. Still, you know you want to go to Cardiff. So in terms of self-realization and enlightenment, where do you want to go? Then we can evaluate what's the only way or what's another way. Okay? Thank you. Very nice questions. Yes?
So thank you for the seminar and the video. Do you have to be on a certain, I had this quote where it said, too much sleep makes you lazy and too little sleep makes you crazy. So I was wondering, do you have to be on a certain mental platform to actually practice Bhakti Yoga? So this comes from the fact that you need a certain level of income, and after that your happiness planes off.
Bhakti does not depend on any material situation whatsoever. Remember this morning I said you have a 100% window of opportunity rather than the 40%? Remember?
I wasn't here this morning.
Ah, okay, I missed it. But you saw it also in that video. One of the happiness academics was describing the 50% that's genetic, the 10% that's circumstantial. That leaves you with a 40% window that you can shape with your intentions. But as I explained this morning, Bhakti gives you 100% opportunity because it's beyond material conditions, beyond material circumstances, beyond your material body and mind.
What about someone that's not on a stable platform or stable state of mind? Can they, surely you have to have a certain level of tranquility to even approach thinking about topics like bhakti?
Let me assure you, practically it's a rare person these days who has any tranquility. If that was the case, that first they had to be tranquil before taking up bhakti, there'd be no one here tonight. Everyone's mind is disturbed with anxiety and agitation. They're hankering for what they don't have and lamenting for what little they have, and they're losing it. So you don't have to wait for any material situation to begin your bhakti. Okay? Yes.
Sorry, I know we're going off in a tangent now. It's just a follow-up to what he's just asked. What if, this is a case of if someone's not exposed to bhakti because of, geographical limitation, then does that mean they can never be happy?
We're not in our situations by chance. And of course, these days, knowledge of bhakti is on every continent. People are where they are depending on their desire and their karma. If you don't want to hear anything about Krishna, Krishna can arrange that you take birth in a place where it's very difficult to hear about him. But that's not the case with you, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's getting very difficult to get away from Krishna these days because knowledge of Krishna is everywhere. The universe is just. The universe is fair. Everyone gets what they want and what they deserve. In your previous life, you made some progress in bhakti, but it was very small. Now you get a chance in this life to start again. Who knows, in your previous lifetime, you might have had so many excuses. Oh, I have to make money first. I have to be happy with family and friends. Now in this life you get a chance to start again. This is not by chance. So ultimately your question is about whether there is justice and fairness in the universe. Is there an ultimate controller that arranges for everything to happen with justice and fairness? Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the video and everything. It's very
Why did you like it?
I study psychology, so I'm interested in that.
Oh.
But yeah, I think it's definitely getting me to redefine happiness. I think it's definitely doing that. But I'm really confused. I think that's probably a good thing because, like you said, we don't know what happiness is. We're trying to conceptualize it, but we don't really know what it is. And from what you're saying, it's more of a progressive thing. It's rather a means than an end. Because like you said earlier, we usually have like one foot in the door of the spiritual world, one foot in the material world. So we're always kind of like almost on the fence. And I feel like we're not getting towards what actually happiness looks like in the material platform. So you're saying that lady, she doesn't really look happy. So how would we know someone is progressing towards happiness, or what would that look like?
The first symptom of someone who's progressing toward real happiness is they know that they're different from the body and mind. And they don't consider that physiological and psychological happiness is worthwhile.
So how does that play out in their life?
They have Krishna in the center. They have Krishna's pleasure in the center. The part tries to satisfy the complete whole. Just like the hand works for the benefit of the whole body.
You mean their actions and lifestyle?
That's right. The lifestyle is Krishna-centered. Holistic. How can you be genuinely holistic if you don't know what is the complete whole? People talk about holistic food, holistic health. But how can you truly be holistic if you have no knowledge of what is the complete? Yes.
How do you bring spirituality into your life if lots of people around you, like friends and family, don't understand Christian consciousness?
You be respectful toward them because you could have been like them in a previous lifetime. But your show should go on. Be respectful toward them and associate with those who will help you in your spiritual life. Be compassionate. You can understand why they're in ignorance.